Hello everyone, welcome, I am Elvis X001. Welcome to EXCAST, a show where we here at Empire X air our thoughts, grievances, and overall just discuss topics that we deem interesting. And today, as you could judge by the title, I am going to give you my thoughts on Evangelion, the new dub versus the old dub. This will definitely contain some spoilers for Evangelion, as well as the end of Evangelion, film, series, etc., and potentially a little bit of the rebuild movies. First, a little backstory. I have a very strange history with Evangelion. I got into it much later than everyone else did, so I'm not as tied to nostalgia as most were when approaching this new dub. I first got into the series back in 2013 when the rebuild films were running on Toonami, the first two, and one of my friends who was a massive Evangelion fan kept hounding me to watch them with him, so I figured might as well. And at the time I thought it was really interesting. I loved the religious iconography as well as the setting and everything else. And I said to myself I was going to get around to watching Evangelion proper. Which I didn't. Until about a month ago. Yeah, you see, I'm one of those people that was probably pulling a very stupid move and watched the old dub followed immediately by the new dub. Not only to make sure I understood everything with Evangelion, because that show requires multiple run-throughs, but also because I wanted to compare, to see what the old dub had to offer as well as the new dub, and as someone who isn't directly tied to nostalgia, I can safely say that my thoughts may not differ very much from the majority out there. So, let's get into it. Again, these are just my opinions. If you disagree and actually really enjoyed every change they made in the new Netflix dub, cool. Please let me know in the comments section below. But I figured it's best to start with comparing the dub cast with the main characters. So, firstly, we have Tiffany Grant as Asuka versus Stephanie McKeon, I think that's how you pronounce that. I don't know. Someone please don't shoot me. I'm sorry. For the new dub's Asuka. Look, at first, when I first heard the new Asuka, I was actually going to go on a massive tirade about how the new voice actress does not capture Asuka's finesse. But I'm glad I didn't jump to conclusions, and I managed to finish the entire series as well as End of Eva before saying anything. I think Stephanie McKeon does an okay job as Asuka. Do I think she's as good as Tiffany Grant? No, I can't even pretend. The main problem, personally for me, is Tiffany Grant actually did something that kept Asuka from feeling like another generic tsundere, in my opinion, in the dub. Asuka, anyone who's seen the show knows, is mostly German. She's from Germany, and when she gets pissed and has her tsundere tendencies, she swears angrily in German. This is dropped in the new dub, and I don't think that's Stephanie McKeon's fault in any sense of the word. That could be down to script, ADR direction, could be down to anything, who knows. But regardless, I feel like it does make the character Asuka lose part of herself, because that was one of the things that made her stand out to me. So, I feel like Tiffany Grant's Asuka was a bit better for that reason. It gave Asuka a bit more personality to me. Overall, though, as far as the dub performance itself, I think Stephanie McKeon did an okay job, but I still think Tiffany Grant is a better Asuka overall, despite everything else I just listed. Regardless, moving on. Let's move on to Misato. Allison Keith voiced her in the original dub, and in the new dub is Carrie Karanen? I don't know how to pronounce her name, I'm sorry. You're actually a voice actress I really like and respect, so please don't hate me. Both of you are, actually. Anyway, perfect. I have no complaints about the new voice actress for Misato at all. She sounds almost exactly the same as the original. I mean, obviously, like everyone, I would have preferred them get the original mains back, but if they had no choice in the matter, this was a perfect dub choice. No complaints from me. Let's move on. To Amanda Lynn Lee, aka Ray. In the new dub, she's voiced by Ryan Bartley. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. And once again, it's a very good cast choice. I don't have any complaints. I think Ryan Bartley does an impressive job as Ray. So, that's what I mean. At first, I've seen a lot of people go in here talking about hating the new dub. I didn't want to do that, though. I wanted to approach it constructively. So, I don't know. I hope I'm doing an okay job of that. Next, we have Ritsuko. In the original dub, she is voiced by Sue Anlu, I believe that's how you pronounce her name. And in the new dub, it's Erica Lindbeck. Someone who's in everything! I mean, hi. In all seriousness, though, this is the one cast change I think that might be borderline better than the original. I don't know. It's hard to pick, but I don't think either of them are particularly bad, but I might slightly prefer Lindbeck's interpretation of the character. But I'll leave that up for you guys to decide in the comments section, I guess. Either way, I have no complaints about either one of them. Next, we have Gendo Ikari, who's voiced by Tristan McAvery in the original dub, as well as John Swayze, the legend, in the Rebuild films and the Director's Cut films, or not films, but episodes, rather. And in the new dub, he's voiced by Ray Chase. Ray Chase. Someone who I feel is going to become legendary in this industry. Regardless of my personal biasism towards him, because I actually do like him as a VA as well. I think, again, perfect casting. Ray Chase does an excellent job portraying Gendo Ikari and the depth of this character. He knows when to come across as shady, when to come across as serious, etc. This is one of those things where all three voice actors have basically done a really good job as the character. Now to address the elephant in the room, and the reason why I could not for the life of me recommend this new dub over the old one, and I think everyone knew this was coming because I'm sure someone's going to say, how did you miss the protagonist? Shinji Ikari went from Spike Spencer in the old dub to Casey McGilliel, I believe that's how you pronounce their name, in the new dub. Look, I'm going to be honest. No. 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 Do I think the VA doing Shinji is bad? No, not at all. In fact, I think if they were given a different role, would have come out much better. As Shinji, it doesn't work. It really doesn't. Casey makes Shinji sound way too, I guess prepubescent would be the term, and Shinji's not that young. Yeah, he's 14, but Spike Spencer did an excellent job of making him sound like, you know, someone in their mid-teens. And there were some of the serious moments I couldn't get into for this reason. And it's, again, I'm not going to blame the VA's fault. I would never do that. I just think it's one of those things, miscasting, which we've experienced before. I'm sure all of us have seen that. It's like, hey, this VA is good, but I think they would do a better job over in this role instead. So, moving on from that. Some of the side characters, which I approve of the dub changes of, we have Toji, who in the new dub is Johnny Bosch, which Alright, man. It's JYB. I'm sorry. That's gonna trump the OG one for me. That's gonna trump the original voice actor for Toji. So, I guess bottom line is, when it comes to dub versus dub in this sense, I would prefer a mix match. It would have been great if they could have gotten the original mains back, and then maybe have the rest of the cast be brand new people like Johnny Bosch and Evangelion and stuff like that. And to my knowledge, from what I noticed at least when watching it, there weren't that many California dubisms, as me and my friends like to call them, you know, where people are recasted as ad voices. I think I heard Johnny Bosch voicing an ad voice maybe twice. Again, I could have been mistaken, but someone will correct me on this. Regardless, I think the new dub is fine, but I prefer the old dub overall, and I would highly recommend searching for it if you're able to. But we're not done. There is a few other things I would like to touch up upon with this new dub. Some of the script changes in the new dub are just odd. I don't know. In the old dub, the organization that the Eva team works for is called Nerve, right? In the new one, they pronounce it Nerve. Maybe that's the correct way to pronounce it, I don't know, but I've always preferred the way Nerve is stated. It sounds much easier to say, and I don't know, I just think Nerve sounds, it comes across as a cooler name in my opinion than Nerve. Also, one of the things, and I've seen people complain about this in the new dub script, and they're not wrong, the change from calling the Eva pilots first, second, third child to children. That doesn't work. You can't say, hey, Asuka is the second children. That doesn't even make sense. Look, I understand if they're translating it directly, but there are some times you make a change to a translation so it sounds better and fits better. The original calls Asuka the second child, for example. The new dub, like I said, instead of child, replaces it with children. It just sounds dumb and makes the characters look a little stupid when saying it in English. There are a few other ones that I would like to bring up. Like how in episode 8, when Kaji is talking to Shinji for the first time at the dinner table or whatever, he asks in the old dub if Misato is still really wild in bed. Naturally, this pisses Misato off, and she goes apeshit. But in the old dub, all he asks is... I mean, not in the old dub, sorry, my bad. In the new dub, all he asks is, does she make a fool of herself while sleeping? And again, Misato goes apeshit over this. What? I understand if you're embarrassed at the second one, but I don't think it's enough to go table flip happy over, if you catch my drift. Like, I think the old dub kind of captured her getting pissed a bit more. There's also a few other minor nitpicks. For example, instead of it called Zele, like in the original dub, it's in the new dub, it doesn't seem like anyone can pronounce it correctly, which the correct pronunciation is Zila, by the way, which is German for soul. But regardless, I probably butchered that regardless, even trying to pronounce that correctly. Either way though, no one pronounces it in any consistent manner in the new dub. Some say Zele, some say Zile, some say Zila, some say, I've even heard, I think, Zella at some point. It's, again, some people might see that as nitpicks, but it does break the immersion when that kind of thing happens. I guess my last nitpick for the script itself is, for some reason, in the old dub, it's called the Lance and Longinus, or Longinus, whichever pronunciation you prefer. In the new dub, they changed it to the Spear of Longinus. I guess, historically speaking, either would be accurate, but I just thought that was an odd thing to change. A pointless one at that, too. Overall, The last dub change, I know I said the other one was, but hey man, gotta keep you on your toes. That was questionable, was in the end of Evangelion movie. The opening scene, the very infamous one with Shinji and Asuka, anyone knows what I'm talking about. There's the scene where Shinji does something to Asuka's unconscious body, and in the OG dub, his exact words are, "I'm so fucked up." In the new dub, he says, "I'm the lowest of the low." I know swearing isn't considered clever language, but I think in this sense it drives the point home much better that Shinji was spiraling out and that he was basically admitting how much of a fucked up person he was, because it really was screwed up. Again, that's just preference though in that sense. Like, that's nitpicky at best, I understand that. And I know someone is going to bring this up if I don't. The Kaoru thing of "I love you" in the old dub to "I like you" in the new dub. That's a debate and discussion for a whole different time. Personally, I see both sides of the argument. Some are a bit excessive and extreme, while others are bringing up valid points about Kaoru saying that was to symbolize that Shinji did have someone who felt love for him to help him grow. Whereas in the new dub, him saying he liked him just comes across as platonic, and I don't know. Again, that's a debate for a whole different time, like I said. So, the last thing I want to bring up, and this is the one that a lot of people have mentioned, "Fly Me to the Moon." One of the songs that Ava's broadcast is most famous for. It's the end credits song of every episode, and it's used to enhance so many scenes. For example, in episode 15, when Kaji and Misato are basically walking home together and having a heart-to-heart, Misato gets drunk and basically cries about her life story and all the messed up decisions she's made throughout her life and how she's lost. A beautiful rendition of "Fly Me to the Moon" plays in the background that really drives the scene to a much higher level and ultimately made it one of my favorite scenes in the anime. But in the new dub, we don't get any song at all. It's just dead air in the background, and I don't know, that really ruined it for me. There are multiple other scenes where this happens as well, and if you can't get the rights to the song, at least put some OST over it so it doesn't feel as awkward or rushed. And that is the one thing that a lot of people have brought up about this dub production, or new production in general. Rushed. It feels like Netflix didn't take the time to carefully go through and do this properly, which that's evident with how they forced the old voice actors to re-audition only to tell them, "Yeah, sorry, we got these new VAs instead." And look, everyone knows I have no love for Amanda Winley as a person. However, I saw some people, because of their frustration towards her, poking fun at her about a month or two back when she was complaining about not getting the job back for her voice as Rei. I don't think that's one of the things you can really get upset at someone for complaining about. I think any of us in that position who were known for that role and then got screwed over in a sense would complain. Again, I'm not defending her in any sense of the word because I know all the messed up shit she has said, but I'm saying in this sense, that's one thing I wouldn't attack her for. Well, I don't condone attacking in any sense whatsoever, but I think you guys get my point. I wouldn't criticize her for it. And either way, I know someone's going to point this out if I don't. Amanda Winley was already replaced as Rei Ayanami. Rei was Brina Peninsula in the Rebuild films, so never mind what I said. Why was she complaining about being replaced? She was already replaced. That doesn't even... That's food for thought, I suppose. But either way, guys, if you want my thoughts, final thoughts, I suggest still watching the old dub. The new dub isn't bad by any means, but I feel it's only for those who are curious to see the new takes on some of their favorite characters. I would not watch this as a first-time viewing. That's just my personal opinion, and the old Ava dub currently is becoming incredibly difficult to find. So if you want it, I suggest going for it immediately, and I highly recommend it. Before going into this, I wasn't sure how I feel about Evangelion, and I was fortunate enough to find the complete collection on eBay for an amazingly good price, still in really good condition and everything, which I'm pretty sure there are others up there that I saw as well, so go check them out. I highly recommend it. Ava has since become probably one of my top 10 favorite animes after embarking on this journey. And I will revisit this discussion at a later date to most likely talk about my thoughts on the anime versus the rebuild films, now that we have 3.0 versus 1.0, or plus 1.0 on the horizon. That title is still stupid. Damn it, Anno. Either way, I'm just glad I got to get into this series, and I have to thank the Netflix dub for that in a sense. Because it wasn't until I saw this dub that I thought, comparing the old dub from 20 years back to the new dub sounds like it would be a very interesting prospect, and I'd like to see it. So, it convinced me to actually go out, look for the old dub, and, well, invest in the show. And I'm glad I did. I hope all of you out there enjoyed this, and, yeah. I really appreciate everyone watching, and please share your fun memories of Evangelion with me in the comments section, your thoughts on the show, now that you can officially welcome me to the Evangelion fandom. It took long enough for me to actually get around to watching this series, but I'm really glad I did. And I would love to debate with people on the topics of Ava at hand, the ending of the series, the ending of the movie, as well as whether or not the rebuild films exist in the same continuity as the anime. Some of these fan theories are really fascinating to me, and I would love to get involved in that. If you haven't seen Ava yet, like I said, go check it out, but please, please, check out the old dub instead. Then check out the new one afterwards to compare for yourself. If you disagree with me, it's fine. Let me know what you think. Anyway, I'm Elvis X. Thank you all for joining me on this edition of EXCAST. I will be back with another topic. I already have a few in mind. I should also point out that there will be more Vic Mignogna stuff coming in the future, because with everything that's come out these last couple months, would like to try getting to that, especially with everything heating up on that front right now. There is also Netflix's Knights of the Zodiac, or Saint Seiya, reimagining coming out next week. I'd like to see if I could get Goku on to help me discuss that, because he's a massive Saint Seiya fan. But we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, I'm rambling now. Thank you all so much for watching. And thank you, Evangelion, because I definitely needed you as a show to help me get through, well, what was an overall stressful time. And thank you guys for watching. I cannot say that enough. I really appreciate it, more than you know. Till next time. What the? Okay, hold on. Okay, now I'm getting out of here. That was stupid. I boomered it up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Anyway, till next time.